Hello, 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 my beautiful boss slaymates. It's me, Ikenisha, your favorite business consultant, and I was actually sitting in my car here at the lake, and I was looking at DMs and doing some thinking, reflecting, all of that stuff. Sorry if you see me looking at something. I keep getting messages. I'm in this parent group chat with Cairo's school, and we're talking about this dance that's going on next week. Anyway, so I was looking at DMs and stuff, and I had a few people send me messages on Facebook and Instagram around my video that I just did about my spiritual journey. And a few people were asking me about shadow work. So I decided to answer a few of the questions by just making a video all about shadow work. So let's just get into it. We'll just talk about a few things, and then you just figure out if this is for you. Okay, so what exactly is shadow work? So I kind of talked about it a little bit in my last video. As the name suggests, it's about examining the unconscious parts of ourselves, or our hidden self, or our shadow. And I know a lot of people think that it sounds like witchy or something, and it's really not. It's the unconscious parts of us. It's our hidden parts of us. It's our shadow. And it's based upon the idea that the unconscious part of us has a compensatory relation to the unconscious. To the conscious, which means that what you identify and live with consciously, you'll find the opposite in the unconscious, and that a lot of negative aspects play a bigger role in us and in our shadow than the positive ones. So I'm going to kind of talk about it a little bit more, but basically the negative traits are the ones that show that we have some kind of repression. Is repression a word? Repressed side of us. So I did a little bit of research when I first started looking at shadow work, and it was developed by a Swiss psychiatrist named Carl Jung. It's Jung, so I think it's pronounced Jung, Carl Jung. And he developed the whole concept of shadow work, and he believed that our shadows express ourselves by pointing out the flaws in other people. And I know someone like that. That is one of the main things that they do, is point out the flaws in other people. And it said that when we first meet our shadows, we first meet them when we are projecting something onto someone else. So it could be like, someone who has a huge hatred, like strong random hatred for gay people. It's because they are repressing a side of themselves because they can't express themselves sexually, or they may have those same type of feelings and they're scared to come out of the closet. You see what I'm saying? So we normally don't identify these type of contents in ourselves. We are just pointing out other things in other people without knowing the reason behind it. So another great example, I guess, other than like the sexual part, it could be like if you have a really strong overreaction or strong negative reaction. It could be a positive reaction too, but in a toxic way. A part of someone's personality is something that they have done to you, or a way that they act, and you just have a strong reaction to it, and it's just abnormal. And when you notice that, it should tell you, hey, I need to do some examining on myself, because there's something about your own personality or your development structure that you most likely aren't aware of, and you won't become aware of it unless you start doing some work within yourself. So that's number one. That is what shadow work is in a nutshell. So if you want to start this, how do you get started? Well, the first thing you need to know is that the goal of shadow work is integration. Okay, it means you need to, you're becoming aware of the hidden parts of yourself, so that they can be moved from your consciousness or your unconsciousness and come out and be expressed in a healthy way. So instead of you being like me, there's a part of my anger, and I know where it comes from. I've always kind of known, but doing more shadow work, I knew more about certain parts of my anger and certain things that trigger like a strong anger in me. We talking like screaming, throwing things, punching walls, putting holes in walls, that sort of anger, like serious anger. So that's what you have to realize. Like, that is what the goal is for that. Sorry y'all, this fire trucks and stuff. Hold on. Okay, it's quiet now. So, anywho, the first thing you need to figure out when you know you want to start shadow work, you need to figure out if this is something you want to do alone or if you want to do it with a therapist. A lot of people actually do shadow work in therapy. Your therapist just isn't telling you that you're doing shadow work. So a lot of therapists do go through this concept. They're just not coming out and saying, okay, we're going to do shadow work today. That's not, So, yeah, you need to decide if that's what you want to do. If you feel like you're strong enough to do it yourself. I've been in and out of therapy literally my whole life. I talked about that in my last video. So I knew I was fine doing it on my own. So once you figured it out, next you need to figure out if you are open-minded enough and curious enough and that you have a huge, strong desire to be better. If you fit all of that, then good, you're ready. Then next you want to grab a journal. This can be one that you purchase, like a shadow work journal that you purchased, or it can be one that you make. Totally up to you. I do have one that is available in the link in the description box. I highly recommend it. It is a lot of what I did. And I added in a few other things just from, years of experience in doing this as well as years of therapy. So if you want to purchase mine, I highly recommend it, like I said, even though I am quite biased. But anyway, so you get your journal, one that you've made or purchased, mine, whomever's, and the first thing I suggest doing is make sure you write down your goal. What is it that you want to get out of this shadow work? I want you to make sure you commit, you make a promise to yourself, and then you get started on your prompts, okay? Once you get started on your prompts, or you figure out what prompts you're going to start with, I do have a ton of prompts in my shadow work journal. I do say or suggest, because this is something that I started doing as well when I first started, start with analyzing your abnormal negative criticisms of others, because we all have a critical side. Everyone, even though I know I'm not like a huge judgmental person, there are times when I am critical of someone, or I may judge something and I catch myself of judging someone with something. So look at those aspects of yourself, and when you figure out certain things about yourself, when you figure out certain aspects or things about yourself, don't shame yourself for it. Don't make yourself feel bad, anything like that, because then it's going to cause that hidden part of you that you're discovering to go back into hiding, and you hiding it from other people as well as hiding it from yourself again. So make sure you don't do that. And when you're writing and you're analyzing, it's something that I do. When I write, I just let out all the feelings in answering the prompts. And I kind of just let my pen go. I let my brain go and just write whatever comes to mind. And normally it leads me down a path of discovering something else that I may not have even known or even thought about, and be like, hey, dang, I didn't know that was part of why I act like this, or I didn't know that's part of why I feel like this. And there have been things that have come out, whether it was me talking about them out loud to my husband, when we've done some like relationship shadow work together, or when I was just writing. So don't just like answer the prompt like you're like in school and you're just trying to write an essay or answer a question. Don't do that. Like, really commit to this and really analyze yourself, okay? So that's how you would get started. The third thing I want to talk about are like the benefits, I guess, of shadow work. I can't really speak to the benefits of anyone else, just a few things that I've heard, but I would say what my benefits are. So I would say that I am able to trust and understand myself even more than I already did. I fully understand what I can and cannot tolerate, and what I can and cannot handle during certain situations and certain arguments. And I know when to walk away. I know when I need to take a walk. I know when I need to go for a drive. I know when I need to pray. I know when I need to cry. I know all of this stuff about myself now. And I'm also very comfortable with myself through and through to have those reactions, but know when I'm about to be triggered and pushed into the negative reaction that I don't want. You get what I'm saying? Like, I know when I'm there, and I know when I gotta cut it. And as a result of me being more comfortable and more trusting of myself and understanding of myself and loving myself more, I'm now able to really stay true to the boundaries that I set. I've always been someone who had boundaries, but I will also let certain people, especially elders in my family, cross those boundaries. And now I'm at the point in my life where I don't care who you are. If you cross a boundary, I'm not going to allow you to do that, and I can cut you off real quick no matter who you are. So I love the fact now that I can set boundaries and stay true to them and not waver. and people can see that. I have also built better habits, better routines. I know exactly what kind of mother I want to be now. Even though, granted, I always knew, but now looking at the inner parts of myself and also the child version of myself, because I've also done a lot of inner child work, which is about healing your inner child. Um, there are some things that I know about myself from when I was little that I've noticed in my daughter, and I want to make sure that she does not turn out in any way, shape, or form the way I did in certain aspects, certain parts of certain things that have happened. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, all of that is a result of the shadow work that I did and that I am continuing to do. So I fully stand behind shadow work. I recommend it to everybody. Somebody's a loud, raggedy system. See. Anywho, I recommend it to everybody. Again, I do have a shadow work journal. It is over 200 pages. I put a lot into this journal. I also have indexed, so like if you're using this journal on your phone or your tablet, even a laptop, any kind of electronic device, I have each page indexed. So like if you want to go to the personal development part, if you're on the menu, like the content, table of contents part of the book, you can just click on that and it'll take you straight to that page. I mean, I have so many pages, so I have everything. Like it's really easy and simple to use. I also have just released a Healing Your Inner Child workbook, being that wasn't something that I really wanted to be sure that it was good, so I let a few people preview it for free. Like I just let them use it and tell me what they thought of it, give me like serious, direct, honest feedback, and they absolutely loved it. So I am releasing that too. You can find the links to the journal and workbook in the description box, as well as my pinned comment. Again, being that May is mental health month, I really wanted to help people out. Oh, my hand's in the camera. I really wanted to help people out because I have been through a lot when it comes to my mental health, and I know how it is. So this spiritual journey, like I've said, is far from over, but I am doing pretty well. So be sure to watch all of my upcoming videos, because all of my upcoming videos are not going to be about business at all. So if you are here for business aspects, I apologize, but for this entire month it will be mental health. So my next video, I think I'm probably going to talk about, because I have more questions about this too, about the journaling aspect of my spiritual journey. So I may talk about like the manifestations part, and also the journaling and the future thing. I might talk about that. Sorry, y'all. It's hot out here. I might talk about that too. I think that's what I'm going to do in my next video. So if you are interested in the journaling, I promise you I'm not trying to show you my cup, but if you want to see it, it says mama, mommy, mom, bruh, because my daughter surely calls me bruh, and a lot of my students call me bruh as well. It's a generation thing, I guess. So yeah, make sure you tune in to my next video if you're interested in journaling, future journaling things, whatever it's called, and manifestations. We're going to talk about that. All right, so I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.